This fabulous fabric. They get big.
Is that not turned on? There we go. What's going on, everyone? How we doing? Sorry about that. Was having some technical difficulties with the stream, but we're all good now, ready to go. Thankfully, before we got started here, we got the Battle of Ontario. I don't know. I was using the wrong thing and it wasn't working, and I had to like re-download my ESPN app. But now it's fine. It's all working. We're good to go for the stream here now. All right. I don't think I missed any of the game. Did I?
OP1.
I don't know. I sure hope I did not. Okay, no, I didn't. All right. Doing the anthem now. Sorry I missed a little bit of that, but Well, we're at it here. Let's get into our game preview. It is the Battle of Ontario between the Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the audio. They're going to sing the anthem now. Only got to sing one because it's O Canada. And we'll get going here with the broadcast momentarily. First off, how's everyone doing? Hopefully all of you are having a great day so far. A nice Easter as well, and we got some playoff hockey here to preview. Starting goaltenders, Anthony Stolarz in net for Toronto, and Linus Ullmark in net for the Ottawa Senators. So the same, none surprises there in terms of that. A lot on the line for the Toronto Maple Leafs in this series. They need to get past the first round once again, and their core might depend on it. And as for the Ottawa Senators, their first playoff game in over 8 years. Battle of Ontario playing for the first time in 20 years to this date was the last time these teams played. Live from Scotiabank Center, you see a Maple Leaf flag rolling around all across. For this Senators team, a lot of them playing in their first playoff game here tonight. And that being said, the anthem is all done. And the arena gets all lit up. And we are ready here for Game 1 of the Battle of Ontario. Starting goaltender preview here. Linus Ullmark in net for Ottawa. 3-6 in his short playoff career. A 3.59 and a .887. He was the 2023 Vezina Trophy winner with his former team, and somebody Toronto knows well, the Boston Bruins. On the other end, Anthony Stolarz, who is 8-0 in his last 8 playoff game, or his 8 regular season games. Tonight is his first career playoff start. The Battle of Ontario, live from Scotiabank Arena, is almost underway here, folks. You can feel the atmosphere from Toronto. Seems like there's a lot of jerseys in the lower bowl. That was something we were hearing that wasn't going to happen because, again, Toronto, we love to criticize Toronto. But that being said, a lot on the line in this Battle of Ontario series. Brady Tkachuk playing in his first playoff game. Austin Matthews, he's been there before. And they're still jabbing, and the puck is finally dropped, and we are officially underway. Jake Sanderson takes that puck back down low, chips it around and back into the Toronto zone. Down low, Jake McCabe trying to play it through. Matthews will take it and dump it all the way down through center ice. It's chipped over then by Marner as it slides back down low. Sens will try and pick it up. Tkachuk drops it back for Zub, who will dump it into the zone for the Senators, who are playing in their first playoff game in 2,772 days. It's a long time for this Sens team. Went through an 8-year rebuild, and they're finally back in it here tonight. Battling down low in the Senators zone, Tavares throws it back to Nylander. Nylander tries sliding it down low, stolen back then by Ottawa. Amadio will chip that puck through and into the zone, but Toronto will get there first and regroup. Nylander drops it back to Morgan Rielly. Over then for Max Domi. Domi sends a pass to Nylander, who chips it into the Toronto zone. Or sorry, the Ottawa zone, that being. Jensen throws that puck around, gets hit by Max Domi. You hear some real cheers. And it gets dumped all the way right back into the Toronto zone, and an icing against the Senators here less than a minute in. Showing off William Nylander, who was second in scoring in the National Hockey League. And the Maple Leafs have already laid some big hits here on this Senators team, showing them what playoff hockey is all about. Face-off is blown dead after face-off infraction. And they'll go back in here for it again. It's Scott Laughton playing against his former teammate Claude Giroux in a Flyers rematch, I guess you could call it, kind of. Benoit shoots the puck just wide of the Sens net. Puck will slide through and through, kept in the zone though by Toronto. Battling on the right side, multiple blue sweaters. Laughton shoots the puck just high of the net and wide to the point. Benoit Tries firing it around. It's stolen back by Law, and he shoots it. Blocked in front then by Shabbat. Down low. Senators pick it up. They'll dump it through the neutral zone. And the Maple Leafs will regroup. Lawrence clears it in. Getting tapped on by Palo, who... Senators rookie, got some time last season. Actually played in the Four Nations for Finland in a very weak lineup over there. And finally got some time. Holmberg dumps it down low into the Senators' end. Still no shots on goal here. A little under 2 minutes in. Backhanded back down low by Toronto. Robertson battling for it here now on the right side. It's picked up by the Sens. Played over on the right side. It slipped up then for Adam Gaudette, but can't get to that puck, and the Leafs will clear it. A lot of back and forth action so far. Icing here against Toronto. And I can't see the time, which is very annoying, to be honest with you. Hate how the ESPN time log is. It's very annoying with how it works, but kind of just have to work with it here. Face-off won by the Sens. Shot at the point is blocked by Stützle. He'll take it back down low. Thrown around. Back behind the Toronto net. Stützle will try picking it up again. Dumping it down low. Morgan Riley steals that puck. Tries dumping it up. Palo a shot. And it goes wide. Brady Tkachuk down low to Giroux. Stolen back then by the Leafs. Holmberg will dump it up and out of the zone. Sens will take it back once again and regroup. Palo feeds a pass up then for Brady Tkachuk as it slides back into the Toronto end. McCabe waits for a regroup. Will slide it through neutral zone. Tim Stützle picks it up. Down the right side. Shoots it. Save there by Stolars on the first shot of the game here for either team tonight. Timmy Stützle led the Senators in points through the stretch of this series and throughout the season as well. First playoff debut for all these young kids here in Ottawa. Face off to the right of Stolars. It'll be John Tavares versus Shane Pinto. And it's won by the Leafs. Domi plays it down low. Will slide a pass over then for Chris Tanev. Tanev, a pass up through, up to Nylander. Nylander through center ice, back up to Tavares. Stolen back then by the Sens and cleared to neutral zone. Here's Ridley Gregg. He'll dump it down low. Played around then by Stolars, up and over for Domi, who will try and move it through neutral play. Jensen then back up for Amadio, who sends it through. Batherson will dump it down low. He takes a big hit there. Over for Dylan Cousins, playing in his first playoff game as well since being traded here to Ottawa from the Buffalo Sabres. Domi trying to play it, stolen back by David Perron, who is not a stranger to the playoffs. Cousins shoots it, saved there by Stolars. Down low, Batherson battling with the puck, picked up by Perron. At the point, Sanderson to Zub. A shot, saved by Stolars again. Played down low to the right side, picked up by McCabe, who slides it up in front. Maple Leafs will take it. They'll clear it down the other way. Perron battling right at the red line at center ice with Tavares and Cousins. Puck breaks free. Maple Leafs will regroup. OEL back in the lineup tonight. Feeds it to Benoit, who dumps it into the zone. Shots are 3-0 Sens here just a couple minutes in. Pinto playing it on the right side. A pass up then for Ridley Gregg, who drops it back for Nyes. Stolen over then by Ekman Larson. Up for Matthews. Matthews to Nyes. Nyes will chip it into the zone. Takes it down low. Pokes it ahead. Matthews will then take it and regroup. He comes in. Wrister! And a save by Olmark with the glove. You know how Olmark can be with his right glove. He stops some of the best players in the league with that. As he just did right there. Must say the Sens look pretty good here for their first playoff game in just a couple of weeks. Austin Matthews, 401 career goals. Got about 15-19 remaining here in the first period. And face-off is won by the Sens. Down low, played around the right side, taken back by Toronto. Marner in front, and it's stolen back by the Sens. Timmy Stu will dump it into the zone. Down low then, Tanev will fire that puck around. It's kept in, though, by Ottawa. Down low as Claude Giroux battles with it with Tanev. Picked up then by Tkachuk, who shoots it on net, and it goes wide there. Jensen back down low to Stu. Over to Tkachuk. Battled for it down low. Giroux trying to play it. Slides out in front. And stolen back by the Leafs and cleared down the other way. Shabbat takes it back in his zone then and regroups. Looking for options. Feeds a pass up then for Perron, who shoots it in. It goes over then for the Leafs as they'll regroup the other way. Into the zone. Riley, and he's offside before he can do anything else. As we get some pushing and shoving here. These teams, they play each other only 3 times a year on average, and you would think they would play each other every single year with the way they act towards each other. I guess it's just the rivalry there in the Battle of Ontario and that little aura that it brings, but these players don't like each other. Not one bit. Face-off coming here now once again outside of the Senators zone. Robertson and Matthew Highmore going at it here. Sens have 3 Stanley Cup champions on their roster, that being Perron, Amadio, and Cousins, all winning Stanley Cups with Florida and Vegas, respectively. I think Perron actually won his with St. Louis. Battling on the right side, Leafs pick it up. Holmberg, a shot! It goes up in the air and into the netting and out of play. And we'll take a look at the bracket. There's only been 3 games that have been played so far in the playoffs, all in different series. The Jets are up on the Blues. The Avalanche are up on the Stars. And the Canes are up on the Devils. All those games still yet to be played as well. Go Leafs, go. Love to hear that. Still got a long way to go before we get to the Stanley Cup final here in the NHL. Tavares now going up against Adam Gaudette. Gaudette will win the draw. Pass up all the way down the other way, and it will be an icing against the Sens here a little over 7 minutes in. Showing off, Craig Berube was named the new head coach of Toronto. Has been playing some great hockey, or I guess coaching some great hockey with this Maple Leafs team this year. You got Travis Green on the other end as well, new coach too. Had some criticism when he was fired, but now he's looking like a solid player here. Or solid coach, I guess I should say. Battling now in the neutral zone. Stolars is in net for Toronto. Batherson. Pass up then for Perron. He can't finish that, and we get a whistle as the puck goes out of play. We'll go to commercial break here. The Battle of Ontario is officially underway. Still 0-0 here. A little under halfway through the first period. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We got playoff streams all throughout the week. You see our schedule in the top right for the upcoming shows. That being said, I'm going to replace that with our next stream that we are doing tonight at 10 p.m. It's Wild versus Golden Knights. So if you're a big Wild fan or a big Vegas fan, better stay tuned for that, because that will be tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That series should be fun. There we go. All right. Still a commercial break here, folks. Again, I appreciate everybody who tunes in. I know there's a lot of other places you could probably stream this game, like the SDPN I know is doing a stream. I'm sure Hot Take Hockey's doing a stream. But you choose to be here. I appreciate that. We'll be doing a couple more Maple Leaf streams here throughout as well. Again, I think we have another one on next Saturday, so that'll be game 4. Could see a result by then of that, so we'll have to see. Looking at the conference quarterfinals back in 2004, Toronto obviously took that one 4-3. Funny enough, Zdeno Chara was on the Senators at that time when that series was completed. That shows you how long ago it really was. Face-off coming here outside the Maple Leafs end. Stützle versus Matthews. They'll throw Matthews out, put in Mitch Marner, who they've pretty much experimented with everywhere on the roster. Face-off won by the Leafs. Tanev plays it behind the Toronto net. He'll hold it there and look for options. Moves it back behind. Slides a pass through center ice. It's missed. And it'll go back into the Ottawa zone. Sanderson trying to battle for it. Down low is Stu. Thrown in front for Nyes. And Ottawa intercepts it quickly. Here's Tim Stützle. Through the zone. 3-on-2 for Ottawa. Giroux to Stu. To the point. Zoob! And a save from Stolars. That's a funny how that works. Giroux to Stu. To Zoob! What's up, MJ Metal? How we doing? Face-off coming here now in the Toronto end. It's won by the Leafs. Played down low. OEL will throw it around. Back for Cousins, who tries backhanding it down low. Scott Lawn waiting for it. Picked up by Ottawa. They'll regroup in their own end. Jensen on the right side towards the penalty box. Will dump it into the Toronto zone. Shots are 4-1 Ottawa here through about halfway this period. Picked up now by the Leafs. Into the zone now. Pass over to OEL. A shot. He scores! Oliver Ekman-Larsson! Coyotes legend! And the Maple Leafs take a 1-0 lead here early. Coyotes legend OEL still kicking it. And his return back into the lineup. A pass into the slot. And Toronto takes a 1-0 lead. Oh, I'm going to get back at LeBlanc for that one. Bro really let Oliver Ekman-Larsson score a goal in the playoffs. Woo, that's electric. Look at that. Ekman-Larsson slides that one past Olmark. And the Maple Leafs take a 1-0 lead here in Game 1. Face-off. Battle on the right side, won by the Sens. A shot on net, glove save by Stolars. Go Leafs, go. Love to hear that. Face-off coming here once again in the Toronto end. Tavares here versus, I think that's Shane Pinto. And it's won by the Leafs down low. Carlo trying to play it around. That's Ekman-Larsson's 5th career playoff goal. Puck in front. Pinto, a shot blocked. He gets it back. Another shot blocked as well. Stolen back then by the Leafs. Domi will dump it down the other way. Racing forward is Nylander. Sanderson bats it around to the other side. Tavares chips it through. Over to Domi. Poke checked away here. Battling on the right side now into the Ottawa end. Shots are 5-2 in favor of Ottawa. One of those shots going in for the Maple Leafs. Puck is tipped as it goes into the Ottawa zone. It's dumped out then by Montemalo. Highmore battling on the right side. Taken back then by Zetterlund. Zetterlund back up and over through neutral zone as it's dumped in for Benoit. Benoit back behind the net. Picked up by Robertson. He'll backhand that one into the zone. Taken back then by McMahon. A shot. And it goes through the crease and all the way down the other way. Racing forward is Highmore with Benoit. They'll battle for it now in the corner all alone. It's passed out in front for Robertson, who clears it all the way down the other way. Shabbat Plays it over then for Giroux. Giroux over for Tkachuk. He shoots it. Saved by Stolarz with the right pad. Tkachuk gets it right back. A pass over then for Stu. To Tkachuk. A slap shot. Saved by Stolarz. It's in the crease. And cleared out by Toronto. The Sens are getting the chances on goal, but Stolarz is making the stops in his first ever playoff start. Into the zone. Shabbat shot. Goes wide. Pass in front. And it's blocked by Tanev over to Giroux. Nyes battling now on the right side. It slides out then for Austin Matthews. Matthews dumps it into the zone. He'll look for options here. Shabbat will play it over then for Jensen, who takes a hit from Marner. Behind the net then, the Sens got it. They'll kick it through neutral zone. And delayed offsides here against Ottawa. Stolen back then by Morgan Rielly. Rielly dumps it into the zone. Played around then up to the point by Robertson. Back then for Sanderson. Over to Perron. Trying to battle forward here is Amadio. Stolen back then by Lorentz. Steve Lorentz down the right side. Throws it back in front for Holmberg. Yarncrook on the crease. On the goal line. Benoit throws that one around. It's kept out. Maple Leafs with very few opportunities, but the ones they're getting are high danger. Played on the right side. Zub trying to get to it here. Battling with Lorentz. It slides free down low. Yarncrook throws it up to the slot. Cousins intercepts it. Gives it to Sanderson, who will dump it back into the Ottawa end. Down low. Highmore battling for it. Taken back then by Tavares. Over for Domi. Domi feeds it back for Nylander. It's broken up then by Stu. Played the other way for Tkachuk. He can't control it. And Stolarz will bat that puck away. Picked up by Ottawa here once again. At the point, Montepallo, a shot and a save there by Stolarz. Down low, Tyler Klevin will take it. Tkachuk trying to battle forward here. It's stolen back then by Tanev. Domi trying to play it on the right side. Slides around behind the net. And all the way back out. Montepallo. Down low, will backhand that one around. Over then for Nylander, who's hit by Ridley Gregg. And dumped all the way down the other way. Rielly. And the Maple Leafs go offside. Oliver Ekman-Larsson with 8:56 left here in the first period. Makes it a 1-0 lead in favor of Toronto. Although the Sens are getting opportunities. Thank you, everybody, very much for tuning in to this Battle of Ontario live stream. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the commentary. I know I'm not perfect, but I do appreciate everybody who's tuned in so far. As my voice continues to not be a fan of me. Showing off Travis Green in his first season as a Senators head coach, his second playoff appearance in his entire coaching career. The last time he made the playoffs was obviously with Vancouver back in 2020. 5 years ago when he was with that team. Took a year off, I'm pretty sure, as a head coaching role. Was still working with a team in New Jersey, but got the next nod here with Ottawa. Face off. Won by the Sens. Played on the right side. Back up through and into the Toronto zone. Benoit banks it off the boards. Backhanded through for Lorentz, who tries dumping it in. It's taken back then by Lon. Scalon, a slap shot! And into the neutral zone. Maple Leafs get it back down low. Lorentz behind the net. Throws it in front. And directed back down low. Lorentz takes it back to the point. OEL shoots it again. And that one is wide. Couldn't get two here, OEL. As much as I would love to see you get two as a former Coyotes fan. Tkachuk Gives it to Cousins. Dylan Cousins into the zone. Will shoot it. And that one goes way above the net and out of play. Yeah, big hit there from, I think that was Tanev on Dylan Cousins. These Sens have been welcomed into the playoffs quickly. Obviously, this is their first playoff appearance in over 8 years. You're going to hear that a lot, but at least the narrative's gone away now, that's for sure. Face-off here now, won by the Sens down low. Ottawa shoots it just wide of the net. Up to the point then. Jensen fires it wide. It's taken back out of the zone by Toronto. A pass up through and up for Tkachuk to Stützle. Stützle back to Giroux. Giroux moving back around. Back up to the point to Chabot. Down low then for Giroux, who loses control of the puck. Stützle will then shoot that one back up to the net. And Maple Leafs intercepted. 1-0 the other way. It's Marner. He's in. He scores! Marner! And Toronto is up 2-0. Mitch Marner on a breakaway. 1-0 from Ottawa's. Through Ottawa's defense. Takes it through neutral zone. In on Ullmark and roofs that one top shelf, and Maple Leaf Square is going crazy. Hometown kid there, Marner right there. You can hear the atmosphere in Toronto. The Brady sucks chance is apparently what they're saying. I couldn't tell what they were saying. I didn't want to guess, but apparently that is what's going on in there. Battling on the right side. Puck played back to neutral zone. That is Marner's 12th career playoff goal. He had a career high of 102 points in the last regular season. Down low, Morgan Riley played to Domi. Domi will try backhanding it up through the zone. And stolen back by Ottawa. Carlo backhands it behind the net. Play to the right side then. Tavares takes it. Tries moving it into the zone, but Nylander steals it right back. Dumped in down low. Riley to Nylander. To Ekman-Larsson, who will throw it back behind the net. Ottawa trying to play it back down the other way. It's chipped up then for Fabian Zetterlund. Zetterlund also playing in his first playoff game. A lot of new playoff debuts here. It's basically everyone on the team, more or less. On the right side, battling for it. Picked up then by the Leafs. Robertson circles back around. He'll hold it. Passes it down low to McMahon. McMahon will take it then behind the net. Pass up in front. McCabe, a slap shot. And blocked in front and goes to the corner. Robertson being tied up by two Senators. Gaudette and Highmore. Puck is still loose. It's picked up by Montemalo, who clears it all the way down the other way. And that will not be an icing. Maple Leafs with a 2-0 lead here through this part of the frame. Puck is dumped back into the Ottawa zone. Chabot will take it behind the net. Slid back down low by Zub. Taken back on the right side, intercepted by Toronto. 3-on-2 the other way. Over then for Lund, who gets tied up by multiple Leafs, or multiple Sens. Lorentz then, down low. Looking for options. Throws it up to the point. Puck passed over then. Morgan Riley shoots it. And a save by Ullmark with the chest. And Mitch Marner with the goal that makes it a 2-goal lead in favor of the Maple Leafs here with 5:43 left in the first period. Thank you everybody so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. We got a fun night of live streams here for you guys. We got this game, then we got Vegas versus the Wild later on tonight. So some good hockey here for all of you fine people in here. All right, as we wait here in commercial. Whew. While we're at it, let's take a look at the Watch with Nordic stat line here. So this is the second time we've streamed Ottawa. They are undefeated when we stream them, and when we stream Toronto, it's a pretty good record of 4-1, or sorry, 3-1. The fifth playoff meeting all time between these two teams. The Maple Leafs have won all of them. Looking at the of course they bring up the Stanley Cup count. Oh, stop it. They're just trying to beat down on Ottawa more. Ottawa, one of the three teams in the NHL looking to get their first Stanley Cup here in the playoffs, alongside Winnipeg and Minnesota. I wouldn't say the Sens have the best chance of getting their first cup, but I would say the worst chance. They don't have the worst chance either. Yes, Keith Tkachuk is Brady Tkachuk's dad. He played in St. Louis for many years. Also played in Arizona, too. He played in a couple different cities. So some cool stuff there that you guys can follow along with as well. Face off now. It's won by the Senators. Played around by, I think that's Stutzel. Intercepted by Nylander. Nylander, he's in! And he loses his grip. And he falls down in front of Olmark, and puck is dumped down the other way. Benoit takes it back for Toronto over to OEL, who sends it through the neutral zone. Backhanded behind the net then by Zub, up over for Sanderson, who throws it to center ice. Battling with multiple Maple Leafs here. The Sens are kind of getting run down a little bit. Nylander shoots it, blocked in front, and picked up back the other way. Nylander keeps that one in the zone, battling with multiple Senators. It's taken back then by Pinto, who throws it back down low. Sanderson will come back and regroup as Ottawa has some time now. Down low is Claude Giroux. Giroux back up and over, intercepted by Toronto. Nyes throws a pass over then for McCabe, who dumps it down low into the zone. Shabbat fighting for it down low. It's slid up in front end, directed away there by Ottawa. Claude Giroux backhands that one into the zone. It's blocked there by Tanev as they fight for it here. And it slides back into the Maple Leafs end. The defense will regroup. Shots are 9-4 in favor of Ottawa, but the only ones that matter are the two that Toronto took to put this one in a 2-0 lead for them. Tanev over for McCabe. McCabe up and over then for Yarncrook, who dumps it into the zone. Down low then Lorentz plays with it. Shabbat back behind the net for Jensen. Over for Batherson. Shabbat will pick it right back up, who will dump it all the way down the other way. Picked up then by the Sens. Into the zone, it's Batherson. He shoots it. Saved by Stolars. Carlo now. Down low in the zone. Picked up by the Sens. In front, Cousins a shot. Saved by Stolars. Rebound, they score! The first playoff goal in nearly 8 years. Drake Batherson. And the Sens cut the lead in half. Drake Batherson, drafted by Ottawa all the way back in 2018. And Ottawa takes this lead and cuts it in half. Pretty sure Batherson was drafted in 2018, right? Or was it 2017? What year was it? Oh, it was 2017. And the Sens cut the lead in half with that one. Suddenly this game just became a little bit different. That's Batherson's first career playoff goal. Had 26 of them in, or 26 goals this past year in the regular season. We got 3.5 minutes remaining here in this first period. Down low, Tyler Clevin plays it back to Montemapalo. Down low below the goal line. Pass up then for Gaudette. Up to Zetterlund. Sens will move it into the zone. Zetterlund comes in, shoots it, save in front. Picked back up then by Nylander. Here comes Toronto. Hit down low by Zetterlund. Oh, and he takes another one from McMahon. Leafs back into the zone, then battling down low. It's Holmberg. Fighting with Nick Jensen, who has played some playoff games before. Puck back up to the point. Tanev to Marner, a shot. Tipped in the front and goes back down low behind the net. Holmberg battling for it. Sens will knock him down. Clevin will pick it up. And it's tipped all the way through and into the Toronto bench. Shots are 13-4 in favor of Ottawa here, as they racked up a couple of shots in that sequence. Face off here, won by the Sens. They'll play it back down the other way. Behind the net then, Stolarz trying to battle for it around the right side. Gregg tries poke checking it ahead. Taken back then by Morgan Riley, who will subsequently dump it into the Senators zone. Ottawa tries playing with it. Behind the net then, Zub will fire that one all the way around and clear it all the way back into the Toronto end. It'll be an icing against the Senators. Senators were 3-0 against Ottawa, or Sens were 3-0 against Toronto in the regular season. They trailed in 2 of them before winning the game, so keep that in mind here. It does matter. But the point, a shot from OEL, saved by Ullmark. Puck was loose, but he made the cover subsequently here with a little bit of time left in the first. Shots are 13-5. It's been one of those games where it's like, goaltending? What's that? Never heard of that. At least for the Ottawa end. Face off, won by the Leafs. Cleared back down low. Picked up then by Jensen. Behind the net then for Shabbat. Thomas Shabbat will dump it all the way down the other way. Sens will play it. Tkachuk gives it up then. Down low. Pinto, and a save by Stolarz as Tkachuk kind of falls into Stolarz. And then we get some pushing and shoving. Because of course we do. That's Brady Tkachuk right there, fellas. I'm sure the Canadians, meaning the Four Nations Canadians, know Tkachuk very well, even some of his own teammates. And some of the opponents on Toronto as well definitely know Tkachuk very well. Showing off Keith Tkachuk, who's here tonight in Toronto supporting his son with his first ever playoff game. Keith only played 89 playoff games in his career, which is kind of wild to think. Face-off coming here now in the Toronto zone. And it's won by the Sens. Puck played up to the point. Thrown back behind the net. Jensen battling forward in the corner now with Nyes. Puck slides up all the way through, and Sens will regroup control back in the neutral zone. Giroux will just dump it right back in. Approaching the last minute of play here in this first period. 90 seconds to go. Marner holds it back for OEL. OEL to Marner. Moves it into the zone on the right side. He has Stu with him. Feeds it down low then for Holmberg. And he's denied back down low. Laurent's battling for it as well. Puck is broken free. In the corner. Jensen clears it back down the other way. Picked up then by the Leafs in their own end. Riley will send a pass up. Lawton. And a big hit there at center ice with Batherson. And puck is dumped back into the Ottawa end. Clevin. Down low, fighting them with Yarncrook. Picked up then by Nylander. Up at the point is Lawton. Sens are now seem to have locked in a little bit more and not giving Toronto as much room. Jensen. Up for Cousins. Puck here in neutral zone. Nylander trying to pick it up. He'll slide it back into his own end. A pass up for Riley. Morgan Riley throws it up through neutral zone. Tavares to Domi. Down low then, battling for it. Picked up over by Gaudette. And battle for the red line. Leafs Swift trying to get one last chance. And Sens get it right back here. And that'll do it for the first period. 2 goals from Toronto, 1 from Ottawa in the first game of the Battle of Ontario. Mitch Marner and Oliver Ekman-Larsson putting up the points for the Leafs. And Drake Batherson scoring the first Senators playoff goal in over 1,800 days. The Battle of Ontario will be back in 15 minutes. That being said, intermission time. Go get a snack, go get a drink. Do what you gotta do. And we'll be back for the start of the second period here in Toronto in about 20 minutes. Sucks that I have to sneak listening to you at work. Doesn't go over well with customers. Oh, I bet. That's all right, though. Whew. All right. Let's get some clips. All right. Let me pull this up. Perfect. Okay. If you guys have any Q&A questions or anything like that, sure, I know some people do like to ask questions while we do these. Feel free. They could be about the Stanley Cup. Anything. Doesn't matter to me. Update that. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, everybody, though, for tuning in through this stretch. I really appreciate it. A lot of things you guys could be doing right now. I'm sure there's other people doing streams, like the Steve Dangle podcast and those doing a stream. I'm sure Hot Take Hockey's probably doing a stream. I haven't looked exactly who's streaming today, but I appreciate everybody who's joined in here. I also know there's, like, what's weird is that, like, there's some illegal YouTube stream that you can apparently watch it on, too. I saw that as well. Picked up now by the Leafs. Into the zone now. Pass over to OEL. A shot. He scores! Into the zone now. Pass over to OEL. A shot. He scores! Into the zone now. Pass over to OEL. A shot. Into the zone now. Pass over to OEL. A shot. He scores! shot, he scores! Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Coyotes legend, and the Maple Leafs take a 1-0 lead here early. Coyotes legend Oliver Ekman-Larsson. All right, 2-1 Leafs here at the intermission. I didn't think. I mean, again, the Sens are losing. I didn't really think they played that bad. I think a lot of it was just the playoff atmosphere for these Sens, where they kind of started off a little bit slower than usual. Again, like, they weren't even that bad either, though. Like, they played consistent most of the way through. Leafs getting off to a good start. I thought first goal was very important tonight. If they continue to play like they did in the first period, then you can start looking at the Prairie group because they played a heck of a period. They played purpose, and you can tell the experiences they've had over the last few years has really paid dividends going into this period. All right, perfect. Pull that up. But I'm telling you right here, you cannot get three guys caught in deep there. Toronto wins this battle. Now it's a horse race up the ice. And watch Ekman-Larsson identify it right there. Watch him find the open space. And Lawton makes a beautiful play to Ekman-Larsson. He makes no mistake, but that was a really good goal. Great goal from Toronto there. Not only in their own zone. Into the zone now. Pass over to OEL. A shot. He scores! Drop my freaking cap on the ground. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Coyotes legend. And the Maple Leafs take a 1-0 lead here early. The question about Toronto in the playoffs, PK, is always the high-end guys. When the big guys perform under the pressure of the playoffs, and they didn't make it. When the lights come on, the big stars... Do I think the Leafs will win the Cup? Well, history tells me no. But in the playoffs, anything can happen, and they're bound to win one eventually, right? At some point. They're coming up on 60 years, though, which is insane. It's okay. The Flyers will be there soon as well, so...
Oh my God, are you going to...
You just stay calm. That's what we've done a good job of all year. It's going to be the main focus going forward for the next two periods. Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, thanks.
Mitch Marner after dark, if you will. The lunar eclipse. It's not a lunar eclipse, just a quick blast. What a regular season for Marner.
Into the zone now. Pass over to OEL. A shot. He scores!
Speaking of big stars, how hot was Carolina? We got the game plan.
Perfect.
Amazing at your Lexus dealer. You've always been ahead of the game. Excellence is your default, and Lexus knows that feeling is unmatched.
All right, that's all uploaded. Trying to figure something out. I was looking because we've done. This is I think our 44th live stream of the year of the overall season. I'm trying to I was looking 45th. I was looking through the stats of the ones that we've done, trying to see how many points, because we've streamed a lot of teams multiple times. I was trying to see how many points does a player have, what's the scoring whenever we do streams, who has the most points throughout all the live streams we've done. So I've started going through the individual stats and looking at how many points every player had and stuff. Just something that I thought would be fun to do, but it is incredibly tedious. Do they still have Samsonov? The Leafs? No, that he's in Vegas now. Funny enough, that's who I have winning the Stanley Cup.
everything starts to play. And now you're typically athletic.
There's a rebound that goes to Carlo, but it's David Perron who creates the turnover in the zone, and there he just
Once you start listening to me, it's going to be hard to stop. Shank. And if you don't have the right auto coverage, the cost risk could hit you out of nowhere. Get all safe, save money, and be protected from mayhem, like me.
Carlo there for the rebound, taken.
All right.
Down low in the zone, picked up by the Sens, in front. Picked up by the Sens, in. The Sens in front, Cousins a shot, saved by Stores, rebound, they score! The first playoff goal in nearly 8 years, Drake Batherson, and the Sens cut the lead at half. The zone, picked up by the Sens, in front, Cousins a shot, saved by Stores, rebound, they score! The first playoff goal in nearly 8 years.
This guy, a big playoff performer, high compete-ness. Played well for Dallas last year in the playoffs.
All right, that's done. That's done.
With our game, other than, the zone, picked up by the Sens, in front, Cousins a shot, saved by Stores, rebound, they score! The first playoff goal in nearly 8 years, Drake Batherson, and the Sens cut the lead at half.
PK, in all seriousness, you mentioned Sheldon Keefe's name more than any single player for the Devils all afternoon. What about his remarks there? Yeah, I think he did make some adjustments. You know, I did put it on them to make some adjustments, even though that they don't have the last change and it's difficult to get those guys away from Stahl. You still have to try to mix up line matches and get something. I saw that New Jersey was just losing that juice as the game went on and they needed a change. He tried some things. My biggest concern for New Jersey is their forecast. Offensive zone. They're very similar to the New York Rangers. They got to play with the puck. They're a smaller team, like you said. They're not as big as Carolina. They don't have those big players. They got to play through the neutral zone and establish their forecheck. If they don't,
in front,
they're going to have a hard time scoring goals.
saved by Stores,
And getting
rebound,
behind in Carolina in that building makes it just that much tougher to play, to come back from against a team that's just unrelenting in the forecheck. Devils have got to find a way to get the lead next game and try to hang on to it. Devils have not won game one of a playoff series in 13 years.
All right, that's all done. Perfect. Pull the stream back up on my phone. What's up, everyone? All right, second period coming up here soon. In this first period.
Reducing my risk. Wegovy is the only weight management medicine proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events such as death, heart attack, or stroke in adults with known heart disease and obesity. Don't use Wegovy
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here for tonight's stream. I really appreciate it. If you are new, please do consider subscribing. But if you're not so sure of that just yet, just watch the whole broadcast. See if you like what you're seeing. And if you do, then we can hit that subscribe button. Next, tomorrow there will be no playoff streams, unfortunately. Tomorrow is the off day. Tuesday we will have 3. But tomorrow is the start of our 2025 reviews. Reviewing every team's season. We got the San Jose Sharks up first. And then we'll get into all the other ones after that. It should be a very fun time. Just gonna shut my door real quick. Should be ready to start the second here soon. Pete Davidson, bro. All right, let's get ready for the start of the second period here now. From Scotiabank Arena, little first period recap. Goals came from Goals came from Mitch Marner and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And for the Ottawa Senators end, goals came from Drake Batherson. As some history and some droughts were broken there during that time. Let's get ready for the start of the second period here now. It's 2-1 in favor of Toronto. All right. Let's get this show on the road as we take a little bit of time here. Face off from center ice. Claude Giroux out there, longtime NHL veteran, obviously. All right, face off coming here now. Second period is underway. Face off won by Toronto. Marner plays the puck back into the Toronto end, waiting for it here. Pass through neutral zone, back into the Ottawa zone. Claude Giroux banks it behind the net. Sanderson throws it around down low, back up, cleared through the zone. And Matthews back in the zone end will regroup. Tanev fires it around. It's directed out as Ottawa will now regroup with the puck. Zub to Sanderson. Through center ice, tries backhanding it into the defensive end there for the Maple Leafs, who will clear it and dump it right back in. On the right side, Artem Zub. Back up then, backhanded through the zone by Batherson, and back into the Toronto end, it'll be an icing. Face off once again. Won by the Senators. Played down low. Toronto gets it back. Domi to Nylander. Nylander looking for options. Circles back around. Circles around again. Trying to stave off Pinto. Will throw it back around to Riley. Riley at the point. Intercepted. Brady Tkachuk. 1-0 on Stolars. He's in. Saved by Stolars. Here come the Leafs now the other way. Tavares to Nylander. Nylander! Pad save by Olmark. Down low now behind the net. Nylander gets it back. Backhanded down low for Max Domi. Domi in front. Save Tavares! And blocked in front. Ridley Gregg takes that puck back. Will chip it back into the zone. Down low now. Ekman Larsson fighting for it. Picked up again then by Amadio down low. Stolen back by the Leafs. Domi to OEL, who will circle back around over then for McCabe. Shots are 14-7 here in favor of Ottawa. Here come the Leafs into the zone. Lorenza's shot! And it goes wide. Highmore to Shabbat. Shabbat will dump it down low and in. Back played around by Tanev, who tries to break it free. Picked up then by the Leafs, who circle it into the neutral zone. Madenpalo takes it and regroups. Senators with it. Clevin skates it around, holds it behind the net. And he'll wait for options here as time winds down a little bit. Clevin playing in his playoff debut. I'll be saying that a few more times tonight here. Puck is passed down the other way. No icing, however. Behind the net, Holmberg to Riley, who tries to get it out of the zone. It's tied up by the referee, who's standing there in front. Sens pick it up. Pass up. Cousins, a shot blocked. Another shot, and Sanderson shoots that one up way above the net. It's chipped out of the zone by Ottawa. They'll regroup in their own end. Cousins to Sanderson, who banks it off the boards. On the right side, Robertson tries clearing it in. Picked back up by the Leafs, who dump it down low. Sanderson throws it around. Batherson looks for options here, who circles with the puck. Back then over for Sanderson, who gets tied up down low by Marner. Marner with the puck, tries throwing it in front. Rebound, and nobody's there. Sens get it right back. 3-on-2 the other way. Pinto to Gregg. Forces a pass, and it ends up going wrong for him. Pinto gets it back. Up to the point. A shot! And blocked in front. They get it back. Pinto! Saved by Stolars! Shane Pinto open in front. And Anthony Stolars says no. And Toronto's going wild. Sick play there from Brady to get that one through. And some good chances here for both sides. Sens are still trying to tie this one up and make this game look a little bit different. They're getting really good chances, but Anthony Stolars in his playoff debut looks pretty good. Stolars with a .941 save percentage, which is second highest in the NHL behind Connor Hellebuck. Backhanded all the way down out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Tkachuk, who dumps it down low. Obviously, Stolars played lesser games than everybody else, but even still, it's impressive. Tkachuk tries throwing it to the front, and we got a penalty. And it's going to be against the Sens and Tim Stutzel for interference. And Toronto will go to the power play here, the first one of the game tonight. Let's see if that Maple Leafs power play, which, by the way, is the best in the NHL since January 1st, can get something done here. Travis Green gets his penalty kill out there on the ice, trying to turn around the narrative once again. So Stu will go to the box. Maple Leafs will get a power play now. First one of the game, first one of the playoffs for Toronto here. Their power play wasn't terrible during the regular season. Again, it was the hottest in the second half. And again, when you're good in the second half, typically you're good in the playoffs. Face-off won by Ottawa. Maple Leafs take it right back. Nylander at the point. Fires it on net. Saved by Olmark. Rebound. They score! John Tavares on the rebound feed. And Toronto regains their 2-goal lead. That rhymed. And just like that, John Tavares picks one up on the power play swiftly. And the Sens are down by 2 once again. And that's what happens when you take costly penalties. And a nice celly there from JT. Nylander puts pucks on net. Rebound in front for Tavares, who roofs that one past. And suddenly it's 3-1 Maple Leafs. Face-off coming now here at center ice. That's Tavares' 24th career playoff goal. He had 12 power play goals in the regular season. One of the best power play X-factors. Here are the Sens in their own zone trying to battle it through. It's passed back to Toronto in their own end. Ottawa needs a goal here now and soon. Dump back into the zone. It'll go down low. Jensen tries playing with it. Shabbat will battle for it as well. Behind the net, Shabbat plays it through neutral zone. Down low then, Perron fighting for it as it's cleared down the other way. Through the neutral zone, up and through, and back into the Toronto end. Down low, Benoit throws it behind the net. Ekman-Larsson intercepts it. Sens pick it back up. Perron to Madenpalo. Madenpalo a pass up to Cousins and stolen back by the Leafs. Leafs only have 8 shots here through this amount of time and still have yet to get, and the Sens still are yet to get another goal here with their 15. It's been a game of shots. Here's Giroux. Through the zone, gets knocked off the puck. It comes back, and Ottawa will be forced to regroup. Tanev picks it back up for the Leafs, who dumps it down low into the zone. Sanderson in the corner, feeds it up to Stu. Stutzel through the zone, a pass intercepted. Tkachuk gets it back. Stutzel in, and the Leafs intercept that one right away. And we got a whistle here for offside. Tkachuk falls into the Toronto zone. All right, face up here outside of the Toronto zone, won by the Sens. Sanderson slap shots that one into the Maple Leafs zone. Down low, Carlo, a deadline acquisition, tries throwing it around, kept in though by Ottawa. Sanderson up at the point, shoots it down low. Pinto in front, but the puck was bouncing, couldn't get to it there. Down low, Ridley Gregg tries throwing it in front, stolen back then by the Leafs, and kicked up into the neutral zone. And we got a whistle here. And Tavares is down on the ground and hurt. And I think we're going to get a penalty here. Looks like it will be against. I think that's Sanderson that I see there. And Toronto might get another chance at a power play. Tavares got up on his own. He's probably going to go to the locker room and get that checked out. But took a rough one there down low from, I think that was Ridley Gregg. My apologies. I thought that was Sanderson for some reason. And I think if I heard correctly, yeah, I think Toronto's going to get a power play with that. The refs are looking at it. Looking to see if it might be more than 2. Let's see what the decision is here. All right, let's see here. Ooh, interesting. All right. A 5-minute major on that play from Ridley Gregg on Tavares. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna review it and take a look. Ridley Gregg getting a cross-check major. It's cross-check in the head. And let's see what this is. Official call here. And they reduced it to a 2-minute. Okay. All right. So they have to review it. And they just narrowed it down to a 2 minutes. So Toronto will get a 2-minute power play. Not a 5-minute major like we were hearing, but it will be a 2-minute power play here for Toronto, which is better than nothing, I guess you could look at it. But, of course, if you're the Leafs, you'd rather that 2-minute power play. Or you rather that 5-minute major. Anywho, face-off coming here now. Toronto has a chance to make this one a 4-1 lead in favor of them. Face-off here now, won by the Sens. Behind the net then, Sanderson will shoot that one all the way around and back into the Toronto zone. Stolars plays it back for Marner. Mitch Marner skating it, will double it back then for Nylander. Nylander through center ice to Matthews. Down low for Nyes. Battling for it here. It's taken back out by the Sens. Highmore will steal it and get it back down the other way. Stolen back by Giroux and cleared back down into the Ottawa end, and they'll regroup down low. Sanderson fires that one all the way down the other way. It's picked up then by Marner. Taken back then by Tavares. Tavares being tied up by Gaudette. A pass over to Nylander. Nylander poke checked away and back into the Toronto end. Good kill here so far by Ottawa. Marner regrouping with it over to Nylander. Nylander skating it through center ice. Will move it through the zone. Comes in, directed away. And Ottawa tried clearing, but kept in by the Leafs still. Nylander holds it. Down low in front for Tavares. A shot in the crease. And Omar tried to cover. It's still kept in, though, by the Leafs. Matthews, poke check by Gaudette. Or I should say cross check by Gaudette. And that'll be a penalty. As Gaudette does not agree with that whatsoever, and it's going to be a 5-on-3 against the Sens. I should not have said poke check. I'm sorry. It sounds like I'm being biased. I don't know. That's a stupid penalty that you could take. You don't need to cross-check Matthews from behind, and that whole Maple Leaf Stadium stood up. As Leaf family said, protect Robles. Yeah, I love Alfredson and Carlson. Two great players in Ottawa's history, but, you know. And 44 seconds here on a 2-man advantage. Ottawa taking some stupid penalties here. That was not smart. Not smart at all. 12:44 left here in the second period. Both teams talking here in I think a timeout. Ottawa takes a timeout here. Travis Green yelling at the refs. Calling BS. And Ottawa here in their first game of the playoffs going to be down 2 men short. Not ideal. Not ideal here for Ottawa whatsoever through this midway mark. And a power play now for the Sens. Or for the Maple Leafs. Face-off one. Nylander shoots it. Scores! William Nylander. 4-1 Toronto. Not R. 4. On the power play, William Nylander puts the Leafs ahead by 3. And that's one of the penalties. And Travis Green not happy with that. And here's some chants here from the Leafs fans. And they play the Panama. Nylander kisses the crowd. Leafs have scored more power play goals in 28 minutes against the Sens than they managed the entire first round against Boston last spring. Some crazy stuff there from Chris Johnston. They still got a whole nother power play here to make some more stuff happen. Sanderson circles around with the puck. Back down low. Cleared all the way down the other way. Nylander, that's his first goal of the playoffs. Almost all of the core four has goals here tonight except for Matthews. But that could happen. Here's Matthews. Into the zone. Holds it. Passes it up to the point. Marner. To Nylander. Nylander comes in. Shoots it just wide. Marner. Now up at the point. Throws it down low. Back to the point. Marner to Tavares. He shoots it again. And a save by Ullmark on that one. Down low. Pinto battling for it. Picked up by Nylander down low. Nylander behind the net. Looks for options here. Pass up to the point. Marner to Nylander. Matthews in front, and nice, couldn't finish. Kept in, though, by the Leafs. Matthews to Marner. Marner moves in, shoots it in front. It's deflected away. Kept in, though, by Matthews. To the point. Tavares a shot. Saved by Ullmark. Rebound. Kicked out of the zone. But still kept in. 40 seconds left on the power play still. Tavares to Matthews. Shoots it. Saved by Ullmark. Matthews gets it back. Moves to the slot. Shoots it. Blocked in front end. Dumped down the other way by Toronto. They get a line change here with 30 seconds left on their power play. Morgan Riley out there now. The score is 4-1 in favor of Toronto. Down low. Shabbat throws that puck all the way around and back into the Toronto zone. Morgan Riley moves it down the other way. A pass back over then for OEL, who chips it in. Thrown around then by Jensen. Kept in, though, by the Leafs. We're back to 5v5. Domi down low. Feeds it up to the point. Riley to OEL, and a glove save from Ullmark, who gives a little slash there to Domi afterwards. Shots are 15-14 here now. It's 4-1 Toronto. Linus Ullmark allowing 4 goals on the first 10 shots. 3 power play goals from Toronto here in this season series as the Leafs are up 4-1 on the Sens. Whew. Some good action here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's been a fun stream here tonight already, halfway through the game and the night of festivities that are ahead. We still got another game after this one, by the way. We got Wild versus Golden Knights as well. So the fun does not stop there. We'll keep on going.
Seriously, who's doing that? A free phone? Look at this thing. I don't even need a case. That's how it's fun. Try and beat it. I'll give you a shot.
I don't think they take that very well. Of course they take Discover. It's stuck in the past, baby. You're the one who owns 13 pairs of parachute pants. And these are my 14.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places nationwide.
All right, face-off coming here now. Coming in the Ottawa zone. Toronto has dominated play for the last couple of minutes. Some goals from Tavares and William Nylander here in just the span of a few minutes. Both on the power play. There's one thing that's become known in this series. The Toronto power play is lethal. Face off. Now here, one down low. McMahon with the puck. Bobby McMahon throws to the front and can't get a shot off. Played down low on the right side. Sens taking it. It's Greg. Up then for Pinto. Shane Pinto will dump it into the zone. Down low, Benoit battling for it here. Tries throwing it into the neutral zone, but gets blocked in front by a Sen. Finally, they'll get it out. Here's Domi. Max Domi shoots it. Save there by from Olmark. Now in the corner is Bobby McMahon. McMahon waits. Throws it behind the net for Domi. Domi trying to hold the puck here now on the right side. McMahon also battling for it too. Greg fighting with McMahon down low. And Jensen getting some complaints from the crowd for a cross check from behind. They're not going to get one here though. Shabbat up and over then into the zone for Highmore, and he can't finish that one. Amadio back. Kachuk! Save from Stolars. Kept in the zone, though, by Ottawa. Shot from the point is deflected and goes down low. Toronto will clear it the other way. Regrouping now is the Sens. Dumped into the zone by Shabbat. Down low is Tanev trying to play it. Kachuk throws it around. The Giroux. Claude Giroux. Down low. Throws it around behind the net. Playing it then is Tanev, who shoots it up and through. And Ottawa regroups. Montempalo takes it behind the net. 16-16 are the shots. It looked a lot like Ottawa in the shooting department, but now it seems like it's much more even here as the Sens have not managed a shot in a few minutes. Besides that one with Kachuk. Zub throws a pass up. Down low now playing it as Cousins. Skates it around behind the net. He's got Matthews chasing his tail. Feeds it through the zone. Over. Batherson hits the pipe! Picked up by Marner. Nyes will take it back the other way. Sens will steal it. Dumped into the zone then by Zub. Perron taking it back in. Loses the puck. Gets it right back. Will backhand it down low for Cousins. Cousins tries throwing it in front. Blocked in front as well. Up to the point. Ottawa's got it. A shot. Blocked. And picked up then by Marner. Sens get it right back. Batherson down low. Looking for options. Throws it up to the point. A shot from Jensen. Tipped in front. Rebound. It's loose. And picked back up by Nyes. Matthew Nyes the other way. Will dump it into the zone and played back by the Sens. Over and in then. Ottawa will regroup. Toronto gets it right back. Here a Go Leafs Go chant now in Toronto. Battling on the right side. Benoit trying to pick it up. Back behind the net. Oliver Ekman-Larsson here now. Up to the point. Here come the Leafs the other way. Tavares into the zone. A shot and a save from Linus Ullmark as we get some more pushing and shoving. It's pretty clear these teams are not a fan of each other. I don't think I'm surprising anybody by saying that. That's for sure. But I think as this series goes along, it's going to get more and more intense with more and more back and forth just fighting and chirps. And we're going to hear it all throughout this series, I'm sure. .7:23 here left in this first period. Toronto with a 4-1 lead. A little over halfway through the game.
I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts. Hard work, dedication. It's like Mr. Jeter said, hard work and dedication. What's been the highlight of your career? And that has to be that guy. Helping people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft. Do you live in space? What's in your wallet? I'm the guy sitting next to your girl on a kiss cam. This game has got a lot more interesting. And if you have the right home coverage, you got to sit this game. Get off stage, save money, and be better for seconds from day now.
All right. Toronto, first 3-goal lead in the last 17 playoff games. By the way, this is the first time the Leafs have scored more than 3 goals in a playoff game in a very, very long time. All right. Face off coming now. Oh, my light just turned off. Oh, that's why, because they're unplugged. Back on. All right, face off now once again in the Ottawa end. Shots are 17 apiece here through the middle frame. By the way, we got another stream later tonight. Face off coming here now, won by Ottawa. Cousins shoots it out of the zone. Puck deflects into the Maple Leafs bench anyhow. And Toronto's got a penalty. Hooking on Dylan Cousins from William Nylander, and the Senators will get a power play. And if they are able to kind of change the narrative here a little bit and maybe make this a different score and pick up one here, maybe they can turn this one around. Tkachuk now against Matthews. Face off, won by the Leafs. They'll play it the other way. Mitch Marner shorthanded. Circles around, a pass through to Matthews. Matthews drives it into the zone, waits for options, throws it around behind the net, and picked back up at the point. Back around behind the net. Batherson now with the puck. Still skates with it for Ottawa. Drake Batherson through neutral zone, over to Stu. Back for Sanderson, who gets it in. And back around behind the net. Sends power play ranked 11th in the league. Tkachuk to Stu. To Tkachuk. To Cousins, a shot. It deflects and blocked. Picked up then by Yarncroke, who backhands that one all the way out of the zone. With 1:13 remaining on the power play. Behind the net then, Sanderson takes the puck. Jake Sanderson will drop it back. Picked up then by Giroux. Claude Giroux. Over for David Perron. Perron throws it up to Greg. It's blocked in front. Shabbat gets it back. For Perron once again. Perron feeds it up. Shabbat to Zetterland. Over. Giroux shoots it. Blocked in front. Save. Rebound. It's off the post. Stolar's making some massive saves here already. Carlo now down low trying to clear it. It's a battle now behind the net. Benoit finally picks it up and backhands it out of the zone. Shabbat will get that one back. Giroux clears it into the zone. Down low now. Tkachuk picks up the puck, tries dumping it up. Stolen back by the Leafs. Kept in the zone. Zetterland to Tkachuk, a shot! And deflects wide. Back up to the point. Perron drops it back. Shabbat to Giroux. Shoots it! And above the net then once again. And we're back to full strength as the puck goes out of play. Anthony Stolarz standing on his head with 5:17 left here in the second period. He's played an unreal game so far. 18 saves on 19 shots. He's been phenomenal. Whew.
experience the feeling yourself at a local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Well, I started walking joggers last year. I didn't know how to turn all this fancy thing.
All right, still waiting here, folks. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it.
It not only creates this, it saps that sweet thing everywhere.
All right. Face-off coming here once again. Thank you, folks, for tuning in tonight here on this Battle of Ontario. Maple Leafs looking to close this series and this game out. More like this game, not the series. Still got a whole nother period here left to go. Face-off, won by Ottawa at the point. Shabbat looks for options, shoots it on net, blocked in front, rebound. And it's stolen back by Toronto. Nyes will chip it up through the zone. Picked up back by Ottawa. Shabbat, a shot through the zone, cleared back into the Maple Leafs end, and an icing against Toronto, or against Ottawa. And a face-off back in the Senators zone. Face-off in the zone. Sanderson wins it. Playing with the puck here. Deflects it up through the zone. Back then for Stützle. Tim Stützle down the other way. Directs it through the right side. Looks for options. Will throw it then behind the net. Tkachuk trying to throw it back down low. Throws it up to the point. Shabbat shoots it. Blocked in front. Puck will slide all the way back out to neutral zone, and regrouping with it is Shabbat. Time winding down here now in the second period. 4:30. Tkachuk into the zone. Will shoot it and goes wide of the net. Kept in though by Ottawa. Montemalo, the Stützle. Tries throwing it down low. It's picked up by Tkachuk as they'll battle for it. Carlo up to Marner, who will try and keep it in. Deflected down the other way. Regrouping with it now is the Sens through center ice. Batherson taking a run at that puck. Battling now with Tanev. Down low behind the net, Carlo throws it around then. Marner tries playing it through the zone. And here come the Leafs. Marner circles it around. A pass back over for Riley. Riley shoots it. And it goes up and into the point. Kept down low behind the net now, Robertson. Robertson throws it down low over for McMahon. McMahon battling with multiple Sens. The Sens will pick it up. Here they come the other way. Clevin joining the rush, comes in, will just dump it down low and get off the ice. Leafs with it in their own end. Carlo sends it through neutral zone. They'll battle for it here now. It's deflected. And picked up again by Ottawa. Sanderson rolls with the puck. Over then for Shabbat. Down low now, Morgan Riley throws it around. Battling here on the right side, kept in by Ottawa. Pinto throws it for Amadio. Amadio behind the net. Looks for options, throws it up to the point. Zub has it, he'll shoot it. Deflected in front and goes back behind the net. Morgan Riley picks it up, gives it up and over for McMahon. Kept in though by Ottawa. Pinto throws it down low. Ridley Gregg racing for it. Picked up then by Amadio. Amadio to the point. Held off there by Jensen, who fires it around. And picked back up by the Leafs. Nylander down the other way. A pass up then for Robertson, who races for it. Or I apologize, Pontus Holmberg. The 9s mixed me up. Highmore battling for it now. Picked up by Jensen. Back up for Highmore, who joins the rush the other way. Clears it into the Toronto zone. Benoit throws it around behind the net. Ottawa still holding it. A battle for it on the right side. Taken back then by the Leafs. Ekman-Larsson then for Benoit, who clears it up all the way through neutral zone. And back into the Ottawa end. Montemalo clears it all the way down the other way. And an icing against Ottawa with just under 2 minutes to go. Showing off Minnesota versus Vegas as the Wild arrive in Las Vegas, Nevada. Marc-Andre Fleury's former team to take them on in Game 1 tonight as well. We'll be streaming that commentary too here at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, barring this game does not go to overtime, which is not impossible. Face-off won by the Leafs. At the point, Tanev throws it back down low. Matthews shoots it, save from Ullmark, rebound in front, and directed to the right side. Sens trying to keep it down low. Back for Shabbat. Played up and over then for Montemalo, who gets it through neutral zone and directs it in to the Toronto end. Behind the net then, Tanev will pick it up and skate it down. It's dumped back into the Ottawa end. Artem Zub now behind the net. Waiting for options here. Picked up then by the Leafs. Here's Ekman-Larsson holding it. Back for Amadio, who waits for his team to get onside and will dump it right back in. Shots are 19-18 here with about a minute left in the first. Coming down the other way. Dumped into the Ottawa zone and an icing against Toronto. Showing off the Western Conference. After tonight, 3 of the 4 series will be played. Game 1 of Oilers-Kings is tomorrow. We will not be streaming that, unfortunately, but we will be streaming Games 2 and 3 of that series. So do look forward to that as well. And I haven't looked ahead in the scheduling or anything just yet, but I would imagine we'll be streaming Game 4 as well. Possibly. Not 100% sure on that, so don't at me just yet with that. Face-off coming here once again. It's won by the Sens. Sanderson shoots it on net, deflected behind the net. Stutzel with it now. Feeds it up to the point. Sanderson shoots it, and that one also goes wide. Sens can't even get shots on net, it seems. Battling down low on the right side. Benoit trying to pick it up. Kachuk takes it now behind the net. Tries throwing it in front. To the slot. Stutzel! Save! And nobody's there to get the rebound. On the right side, trying to throw it down low is Lawton, who fights for it here now. Stutzel tries keeping it in the zone. Sens regrouping here. 30 seconds left. Sanderson shoots it around behind the net. Picked up by Nyes down low as Batherson battles for it here too. Backhand pass up to Sanderson, who shoots it on net. Saved by Stolars. Taken back by Yarncroke. Time winding down. And a penalty coming here against the Sens. And Ottawa does not like it. 12.6 seconds left. Batherson will go to the box. And Toronto will get another power play here to try and add to their already monumental lead. Yeah, not ideal there whatsoever for the Senators, who are, again, trying to get back in this game. And penalty after penalty is really limiting them from doing much of anything here. Not pretty. Shots are 21-18 on an interference penalty from Batherson. And Lawton and Giroux exchanging some words as Lawton heads to the box as well. Maybe not a power play. Yeah, Toronto power play. All right, 12.6 seconds left here in the second period. Face-off coming up here now. Toronto 2 for 3 on the power play. They were 0 for 8 in the regular season against the Sens But the playoffs are a different breed. Sanderson throws that one all the way around. Time winds down. They'll pick it up down low, and that'll do it for the second period here. 2 goals from the Leafs in that period to make it a 4-1 lead for Toronto heading into the third period. That being said, it is intermission time. Go get a snack. Go get a drink. Do what you got to do, and we'll be back for the third period here momentarily. I don't really have any commentary clips from that period, so I can just kind of chill. We don't mind hearing that. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in here on this live stream. I really appreciate it. If you are new, please do consider subscribing to join the great community that we have here on this channel. We do these live streams as much as we can, especially during the playoffs. We got one more here tonight, and we got a day off tomorrow, but then 3 more on Tuesday, as we'll be taking a look at Devils versus Hurricanes Game 2. Game 1 happened today. Obviously, the Devils beat the Canes 4-1. Game 1 of the Battle of Florida. So Panthers versus Lightning. And then Game 2 of Wild versus Golden Knights. So we will have streamed basically all the playoff games to that point. I think the only 2 series we have to do after that then is Capitals and Canadiens and Oilers and Kings, which we will do on Wednesday. So we got content, live streams, videos, commentary clips, podcast out the wazoo for you guys over these next couple of weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to doing all these streams. I have a great time doing these. But I do appreciate everybody who's tuned in.
Only pay for what you need. White moves at the speed of coffee. But you can count on Enterprise, home or away, to always be there with your signal. No matter where you go, Enterprise, for lives and drives.
Welcome back to the Discover Second Intermission Report. 4-1, Leafs lead the Senators after 40 minutes to play. 2 Leafs have lost that series. Taking us here on ESPN. A whole 5 periods before we started addressing the officiating in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Here's the penalty seen and heard around Ontario. Tim Stützle goes to the box for 2 right there. I want to take the time to watch this, and I still can't believe that I can't believe it's a penalty, and you know, listen,
I don't think that one was the greatest, the Stützle penalty. It's debatable.
in what hockey league is that a penalty? I don't know. To me, it's frustrating.
Ullmark is now allowed 4 goals and more in 6 of his last 10 career playoff starts. Not pretty. Not very pretty there whatsoever when you look at that one. But definitely think that with time it could get better. We'll have to see, though. I don't know. Just me kind of bullshitting, to be honest.
The Ottawa Senators are playing their first playoff game tonight. It's clear that the inexperience is showing throughout this game to this point so far. Not only on the penalties that they've taken, but also the way they've executed some of the plays 5-on-5 and 5-on-4 films and penalties. So it's not that uncommon for this to happen for a young, inexperienced team that's playing against a very experienced team in the Toronto Maple Leafs. And he's starting to play in the first 2 periods. Are we going to say that call wound up being deciding this game, maybe the series, because 9 seconds after Stutzler goes to the box, John Tavares and look at the structure of Toronto right here. Look at Dude way too high as a defenseman. He's way too high. And sure enough, who gets the rebound? It's Tavares, where Dude's sitting back in his structure below the hash mark, waiting for the puck to come into around the net there, and not chasing up front there. So they completely got out of their structure on another form of inexperience. There's Greg, he puts up the fence there on John Tavares. Gets the shoulder first. They called it a major so they could look at it. They dropped it down to a minor, which was the right thing to do. I got no issue with the other stuff. Yeah, I got no issue with all that. These are all penalties to me. Even this one is close to the wall. They're going to call it. So here, it may not be an egregious cross check, but it's close to the wall. It's dangerous. We don't want that in the game. So I'm not fair. Keep their proposals. This here, they're going to call that. Every time, whether it's Austin Matthews or anybody else, it's dangerous. And Willie Nylander goes to work here now. Yeah, and you can see another one draw by Toronto Maple Leafs, and he puts Nylander in the middle of the hash mark. He's not going to miss from there. And it's just another, you talk about special moments or certain moments in these games that really define the game one way or another. To your point, that penalty might have when Ottawa but also it's the execution of Ottawa.
Tavares and Nylander with 2 power play goals in that one.
Yeah, it's a big moment for them. They're going to learn a lot. They're going to have a way better understanding of what playoff hockey is about. And but they're in tough right now for this first game. Travis Green used his timeout, try to settle things down at 5-on-3, and then 3 seconds later get the 5-on-3 goal. It's going to be a long series. That is how you feel about very, very nice suit. There's your boy Jack. And look at the shades. Everything's tight. Look at the pulling on the waist sleeve. You got to be in shape to pull it in that tight. On his way inside. Unbelievable fortress. Nucky Thompson's nephew. Love it. Take it to Vegas. Here we go. Boston, baby. Boston.
We've taken in the mission before. In the Discover, the official credit card of the NHL. Usually it's one person buying on shoes.
Discover double chip cash back at the
Hi.
year. So I'm going to use mine to get something for my beautiful stunt double, Eileen.
You earn, we match.
Wow.
Discover cashback match.
We'll take them.
Fill your bagel? Of course. Fill your potatoes, eggs, and pasta? Hello, creaminess. Philadelphia, a creamy touch of magic. What's going on here?
All right. Got about 10 minutes until the start of the 3rd period here, fellas. Just keeping my voice nice and rested, but I do appreciate everybody who has stuck around this long. It is always appreciated.
You tried the 60% off? It's super fresh. Okay, here I come. Arigato.
New Swiffer Mop Deluxe is made for small spaces. For clean, even mama approves of. Just grab a pad and go. The built-in solution traps dirt and locks it away.
Wow, feeling
The upgraded Swift has 75% more scrubbing power.
so
And with the new locking head, getting into tight spaces is simple. The all-new Whipper Mop Deluxe, the mother of all cleans.
Now again, like I know it's a 1-0 lead here or a 4-1 lead here for Toronto, but I'm just gonna say this: this game I think is far from over, in my opinion. I think that Toronto has proven that even though they are leading in a game like this, can't trust them. It's the number one thing I learned. You cannot trust Toronto in a big lead. It's not over till it's over. But with the way the Sens are playing, the penalties they keep taking, I get it. All it takes is for one shot and the narrative of this game might be completely turned around. But I don't know. I think that things could change. We'll have to see, though. Still a lot of time. It's just my opinion, at least. Got about an hour until the Vegas puck drop. Yeah, no, Sammy plays for the Golden Knights now.
Jack, a really successful regular season for your group. You win your division, you're third in league standings. You yourself career highs offensively. But as you enter game one versus the Wild, does that matter?
I think we can take something away from it and what we learned through the season about ourselves.
Oh, Lee Hextall. What a character. Of course, everybody's joining now when the commentary isn't even happening. Still got another third period left here to play, folks. I appreciate all who has tuned in tonight.
I'm looking forward to it. This is a great time of year, and I know our group's really excited.
We're excited too. Thanks, Jack.
All right, thank you.
Jack gets it. Jack Eichel gets it. Just really maturing into the player and the person.
All right. Should be getting ready here for the third period momentarily.
I know it's just night one. It's only 2 periods. But all the big boys are up to score such a big win. I think it takes a little pressure off them early in the series. And it's always nice to get on the board early, especially if you're a guy that's counter on the score. And we've done it tonight so far. It's been another third period. Off to the third. This is into the schedule.
All right. Third period coming up after this commercial break. And then we'll get going here with the final wrap-up of our first stream of the night. But we're not done yet. We do have one more after this. Again, I've mentioned it many times. today. Ottawa is a comeback team. Be careful, Leafs. 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. So, again, as I said, it's not over yet. Okay. About 2 minutes here till the start of the third period.
When you'd rather enjoy the pool than clean up on your Get out of the pool. It matters where you stay. Conrad Hotels and Resorts. Hilton for the stay.
It's cool to as a new game, because not everything in life is guaranteed. Don't sweat it. You get our best deals on smartphones like iPhone 16 Pro. Oh no, with your choice of our best plan. And right now, trading your iPhone over here, and get up to $1,000 off your new.
All right, about 1:15 here, guys, and then we'll get it going here with the third period. All right, a little bit of a second period recap. A lot of power plays from Toronto in that one. They got 2 goals off of that from Nylander and Tavares. And let's see what they can get done here now in this next half of this game, the final frame. Stolarz has been phenomenal in this game, I gotta say. Been a major positive for Toronto here. You know, one of the biggest problems they dealt with in previous years was the goaltending. And seeing how it's performed here, that's a major positive for Toronto. And hopefully they'll be able to use that to their advantage. All right. From New Jersey. All right, face-off won by the Senators. They'll play it back in their own end. Sanderson throws it around then as Marner will keep it around behind the net. Marner through the zone. Circles it back in. Will try and drop it back. Attempts to backhand it down low and picked up again by Nylander as the Leafs will regroup. Reminder, they're still on the power play for a good minute 15. Here's Nylander through neutral zone. Taken away then by the Senators and cleared right back in. Stolarz then off for Marner. Marner holds that puck. Taken back then for Matthews. Matthews Over for Nyes. Nyes drops it back. Giroux will steal it. And clear it all the way down the other way. Behind the net now, Highmore. With 40 seconds left. Highmore takes it behind the net. We'll just send it back down and try and run down time off the clock. Smart play there by the young Ottawa native. Highmore tries throwing it up to the slot. We'll just dump it back down the other way. 30 seconds left on the Toronto power play. Cleared through the zone, back into the Maple Leafs end. Pinto trying to circle it around. He'll take it down low now behind the net. Riley will pick it up. 15 seconds left on the power play. Ekman-Larsson circles around through the zone. Up for Domi. Domi takes it in. He's got some room. Shoots it just above the net. Robertson. Back to even strength here now. A shot on net. Saved by Ullmark. Played around then behind the net is Robertson. Robertson trying to control it. Down low, McMahon. Over for Domi. Up to the point to Riley. Back for Domi. To Riley. To McCabe. To Riley. A shot. And it goes wide and into the glove of Ullmark. Time winding down here now in this one. Again, shots are 21-18 in favor of the Senators. But the score stands at 4-1 in favor of Toronto. Face-off. Won by the Sens. Deflected the other way. Batherson chips it through the zone. Back into the Toronto end. It's thrown around. Sens trying to keep it in here now. Puck stays up. Ekman-Larsson. Up to Lawton, who dumps it down low. Clevin steals it around behind the net. Over for Cousins. Cousins directs it down low into the zone. Picked up by Carlo behind the net to Ekman-Larsson. Behind the net, Sens keep it in. Down low, Piranha shot. And that one goes wide. Played on the right side by the Leafs. Yarncrook feeds it back over. 68% of the time, the Game 1 winner wins the series. So if Toronto has one thing to take away from this one, that's it. Tkachuk shoots it, saved from Stolars. Behind the net now, Tanev trying to pick it up. Behind the net now, it's thrown around for Marner. Mitch Marner throws it over then for McCabe. McCabe, a drop pass then as it's dumped back into the Ottawa end. Ullmark back for Zub. Zub behind the net. Looking for options here now. We'll move it through and in the Toronto end, Amadio racing for it now, down low in the corner, battling with Benoit. Back for Pinto. Pinto holds it, throws it around behind the net. Delayed penalty coming here against Toronto. Zub, over, Pinto, save, rebound, another stop, in front, they score! Shane Pinto, or I'm sorry, Ridley Gregg. And Ottawa is within 2 off a delayed penalty call. And suddenly, guys, this just got a little bit different. 16 minutes left here in the third period. It's 4-2 Toronto. There's still some time for Ottawa to get something done here and make this one look a lot closer than it is. You get enough shots there on Anthony Stolars, you're bound to get one in there at some point. Let's see if they can get something going here. Face-off coming here now at center ice. It's won by the Leafs. Played on the right side. Nyes dumps it down low. Trying to get to it now is Sanderson. That's Ridley Gregg's first career goal in the playoffs. Tkachuk gives it over to Zub. Artem Zub drops the pass over for Giroux. It's too far ahead. Tanev will steal it back for Toronto. Behind the net then to Jake McCabe. McCabe will send a pass all the way up through the zone and taken back then by the Senators. Back for Tkachuk. Tkachuk's got some room. Shoots it. And goes above the net. And out of play here with some time left. Shots are 24-18. Ridley Gregg with a goal to cut the lead down even more to 2. And this game, as I said, guys, it's far from over. That's for sure.
Unbeknownst to him, Ridley Gregg just skated down relatively unscathed, and he puts home the loose change. So, see, here's Craig Ruby saying, guys,
Face off.
we get the puck,
Coming up here now.
and get going north offensively.
See the shots on goal, Ottawa.
In the Toronto end, it's won by the Leafs. McMahon plays it around to the right side, taken back by the Sens. Battling forward here now. Robertson will pick it up. Direct it back down low up to the point. Riley shoots it. He scores! Tipped in front by McMahon, I think, but I think it's going to go to Morgan Riley anyways. And it's now 5-2. Toronto regains their 3-goal lead. And 5-2 Toronto here now off a face-off, going back down the other way. Good rush from McCann to keep that puck, battling for it. Robertson moved it in, slid it back to Riley, who took a shot from the point and roofed that one on Olmark. And now the lead is back to 3.
Oh,
12th career playoff goal for Morgan Riley, who dumps it into the Ottawa zone. Back down low now. Shabbat trying to move the puck. Here's Batherson. Playing up then for Perron. David Perron now down low. It looked like the Sens could make something happen here, but denied there. Batherson in front, saved from Stolars. Battling on the right side, Yarncrook and Jensen back up to the point. Cousins over to Shabbat, shoots it, and it's blocked in front. Lawrence on the right side gives it to Carlo, who hits Batherson. Throws it around behind that, then to Morgan Riley. Riley sends it through the slot. In the neutral zone, back down to the Sens end, and Ottawa will regroup. Here's Pinto. Shane Pinto down the right side. Deeks through, shoots it. And just high and wide of the net. Zub at the point, slap shot. And it goes wide as well. Kept in there in front. And it goes just wide of Stolars again. Here's Nyes down the other way. Will bank that one off the boards and into the zone. Sanderson now down low. Back for Zub. Played back down the other way. Ottawa will clear that one in. Behind the net now is McCabe. Battling for it. Picked up again there by the Leafs. Holmberg will send it back to Tanev with 13:43 left to go in the third. McCabe up to Tavares. He'll dump it into the Ottawa end. It'll stay in the zone. It looked like it was going out of play with the fans' reaction. Giroux up to Tkachuk. Sends a drop pass over. It's intercepted. Here's Matthews. Austin Matthews down the right side. Shoots it. Save from Olmark. Matthews tries passing it up to the point. It's deflected and goes wide of, I think that was Tanev. And kept by the Leafs. Dumped down the other way. Olmark behind the net. Banked off the boards then by Highmore. Down low. Clevin gets it back. He'll regroup and wait with the puck. Back over then for Highmore. Highmore sends a pass for Jensen, who dumps it all the way down the other way. Battling now in the zone. Cleared down the other way by Toronto. Neither team can really get actual chances now. It seems like it's just back and forth. Sens need goals here, and they need them fast if they want to try and make this one look close. Robertson tries backhanding it out of the zone. Gaudette tries slamming it back in. Taken back then by the Leafs. Cleared all the way down the other way. Montemalo slides it behind the net to Clevin. Clevin down low. We'll pass that one all the way around and back into the Toronto zone. It'll be an icing against Ottawa. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning into this stream. I really do appreciate it. If you are new, please do consider subscribing. But if you're not sure of what you think just yet, wait for the whole broadcast to be done. Then consider subscribing. That's what I always tell everybody who kind of joins in on these ones. I get a lot of new reoccurring fans here. Still trying to kind of build my audience even still. Face off on the right side. Won by the Leafs. Benoit shoots it just wide of the net. Played down low behind the net. Yarncrook with it. Back then for Lawton. Lawton up to the point. He battles now in the corner. Monpalo trying to pick it up. Steals it there. Back. Shot. And blocked in front there, I think, by a Maple Leaf. Lorentz to the point. Ekman-Larsson a shot. And blocked in front there as well. Down low. Monpalo trying to pick it up is Lorentz as well. Looking for options here. Toronto throws it up to the point. Ekman-Larsson spins it around. Throws it back down low to Lawton. Lawton now behind the net. Back up then for Perron, who banks it off the boards and into the Toronto zone once again. Shots are 26-19. Took a shot off there for Toronto. Leafs rushing now into the Sens end. Holmberg battling for it. Sanderson shoots it around. And Ottawa will regroup in their own end even still. Tkachuk tips a pass up. Leafs get it right back. And shoot it back into the zone. Sanderson sends it through the zone. Hearing some chants from the Leafs here tonight in Scotiabank. They've been chanting loud here tonight. Amadio a shot. Goes just wide of the net. Thrown back down low. Amadio throws it around. Riley battling for it here now is Zub. It's taken around back behind the net. Carlo with it. Up and over down low. Holmberg sends it back for Carlo to Morgan Riley. And Jensen will skate it back and regroup. Again, a lot of back and forth action since that Morgan Riley goal. Nothing too serious in terms of shots. Again, just curious to see if Ottawa can get anything else going here. Battling now down low in the zone. Marner picks it up behind the net. Morgan Riley takes it right back. Up for Nyes. Nyes directs it through. Still battling for it here now. By the way, we do have another live stream coming up right after this one between the Golden Knights and Wild. So be sure to tune into that one. Down low, Leafs with it. Matthews throws it up to the point. Benoit over a shot. And a save by Olmark. That'll be the Leafs' 20th shot of the game here tonight. And we'll go to commercial break. Morgan Riley with some insurance to make this a 3-goal lead here once again for Toronto. They're not giving up. And it's 5-2 here with about 10 minutes left in the third.
Switching days. Get more with Geico.
Best day of training so far. It's killing me.
Meet Patty, self-appointed social chair. But her capacity to care is unmatched. You need Patty. Patty needs a retirement plan. Work with Principal so we can help you with a plan that's right for Patty. Let our expertise round out yours. Fill your bagel? Of course. Fill your potatoes, eggs, and pasta. Hello, creamer.
All right. Still got about 10 minutes left here, guys. Just trying to keep myself a little bit more quiet so my voice doesn't die. All right. Here we go. Face-off coming here now. Again in the Ottawa end. Toronto looking to maybe add some more insurance to what's gone down here in this game already. Face-off won by the Leafs. Nylander circles it around down low. Throws it in front. It's deflected. And the Senators pick it right back up. Gregg down the other way to Zetterlund. Zetterlund shoots it just wide of the net. Kept in, though, by Ottawa. At the point, Zub, he's got some room. He'll shoot it. And a glove save, easy, by Anthony Stolarz. All right. Shots are 27-20. Face off here. Stutzel with the puck. A pass over then. Sanderson a shot. Blocked in front there. Picked up again by Toronto. Matthews through the zone. And Shabbat gets tripped there. No call on the Leafs. Never. Yeah, no call. I thought they all slowed down for a second. I was like, oh. Shabbat throws a pass up then for Stutzel. Back into the Toronto end. McCabe trying to get to it there now down low. Stutzel picks it back up. Throws it in front. Perron fans on the shot. And they'll play back with it down low. Back behind the net now. Stutzel battling with it with McCabe. Tanev down low. Picked up by Matthews. Leafs will move it the other way. Nyes dumps it all the way down and into the Senators' end with about 8:30 left here in the third. Played around down low. Sanderson moving the puck through center ice. Here they come into the zone. Sanderson shoots it just high of the net and out of play. I guess not just high if it did go out of play, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. All right, we're coming up on some Watch With Nordic history here. The most watched Watch With Nordic stream is 1,202 views. And we're currently at 1,138. So we're coming up on some Watch With Nordic history here to become the most watched stream in the Watch With Nordic history. Not ever, but at least in this stream. It's going to take a while before we get to our most ever. I don't even know if I can beat the last one I did. My most popular stream was back in 2022 when the Penguins and them went to that double overtime game. That stream had 9,693 views. It's going to take a while before we get to that one, that's for sure. But this one will put itself in the top 40, I'd say. Just like, it doesn't mean anything to you guys, but just some cool, stat lines that I'd like to follow along with. So, just me being the nerdy stats guy I am. But I do appreciate everybody who's tuned in. It really is greatly appreciated. We got a lot more of these streams coming up, so if you would consider subscribing, I would appreciate that. If you're wondering when we'll do the next Battle of Ontario game, it won't be until next Saturday when we will be doing Game 4, I'm pretty sure, is when that is. So, won't be another Battle of Ontario for a little bit, but we will be doing another one at least planned in the streams. So, we got a day off tomorrow, and then we're back Tuesday with 3. For those who consistently tune into the streams. But at least for this one so far, I really do feel like Ottawa hasn't played bad. If they can get rid of some of their costly penalties that they took, just some stupid calls, like the cross-check from behind on Matthews was a little stupid. The one from Gaudette was a little dumb. I think if you can fix some of that up and Olmar can sharpen back up, you could win Game 2. So this series is far from over, in my opinion. It's Game 1. Don't get overreacted just yet. Icing against Ottawa here with 8:15 left in the third. Talking about Scott Lawn and Claude Giroux, who are both chirping each other here. Kind of funny because they're former teammates. Face off. Won by the Leafs. Tanev to McCabe. Down low. Picked up then by Nyes. Cleared all the way down the other way. And another icing. Never mind. Olmark touched the puck. Sanderson. To Giroux. Claude Giroux moving it through the zone. A pass up down the other way. McCabe will pick it up behind the net. Giroux throws it up to the point. Sends. Will keep it in. A shot from Zub. Save in front. Rebound. And it goes back down low behind the net. McCabe. Battling for it then with Stu. Pass over to Sanderson. Chabot shot. Blocked in front by Matthew Nyes. And he's hurting after that one. Sens have to come back onside. Sanderson back with it. Nyes steals it and clears it the other way. He'll get off the ice, but what a block there from Nyes off of a fast shot. And the crowd kind of gives him some cheers there because he took a rough one. Oh, man. Yeah, left leg there for Nyes. That looked rough. So let's hope he's okay. Sens are racking up the shots here, though. They're starting to get some opportunities. Just, again, like if Omar can lock in for the next game, I think that would be good news there for Ottawa for sure. Puck plays down low in the corner. Chabot fighting with it. Back for Batherson. Batherson to Cousins, who chips that one into the zone. Batherson slides it back. Picked up then by Perron. Perron moves to the center, shoots it. Blocked in front. We got a whistle here and a penalty coming against Ottawa once again. Ekman Larsson's on the ground. And with 6:55 left, we're going to get another power play for Toronto if I am correct. So let's see here what is going to happen now with this one. But regardless of that, we're going to see another power play as Cousins and just the Sens keep giving cross checks. They keep doing stupid penalties. I know you're down 5-2 and you're frustrated, but man. So Batherson to the box again for cross checking. He had a penalty earlier in the game. I don't know, guys. Sens have really taken themselves out of the game with the penalties. Just, I mean, again, like, I don't want to keep going back to it and keep beating down on them. It really kind of affected them in this first game. And I get it. It's a game for a team that 90% of them have not played in the playoffs. And again, it's a new atmosphere in the playoffs compared to the regular season. There's going to be hits that, there's going to be things that get passed that might get called in the regular season, but might fly in the playoffs. So that's the biggest thing there. Like Ottawa, they haven't played a playoff game in 8 years. 90% of this team has not played a playoff game. So I totally understand why they're kind of struggling here a little bit to hold that. Shot in front, saved by Olmark. Rebound, they score. Matthew Nyes, and it's 6-2 Toronto. So that's what, the fourth power play goal of the game? And again, it proves my suspicions a little bit in a sense where, if they can tighten up a little bit more defensively and maybe, play a better, more disciplined game, they can win the next one. So let me look up the schedule here real quick. Let me pull up the game and see how many power play goals. That's at least the third one tonight. So yeah, now it's 6-2 Toronto. That's 1-2. Yeah, that's the third power play goal tonight. What can I say, guys? If they play more disciplined next time, they can probably take it, if I'm being completely honest. Face-off won by Ottawa. Jensen tries clearing the puck the other way. Stolen back then by Toronto. McMahon tries throwing it down low. Picked up by the Sens. Here's Highmore. Racing the other way. Highmore's got some room. Throws it in front. And denied there by Stolarz. Again, they have more shots than Toronto, too. So, if they can tighten up on their defensive game, they could play a well more rounded game here in game 2. Robertson to Domi. Domi will dump it into the Ottawa end. I feel like we're going to get some pushing and shoving here and some fights and stuff coming soon, just because it feels like that type of game. It feels like that atmosphere here tonight. Gaudette dumps that one into the Toronto end. Lawton back behind the net then. Ottawa picks it right back up. Thrown all the way down the other way. Olmark will shoot that puck all the way around. Pinto. Pass up over, dump back into the zone behind the net, and we get another whistle here. As Lawton took a stick up into the face. And is that another penalty for the Sens? And yes, it is. Tyler Cleven's going to the box now. Another penalty for the Sens. Oh, good Lord. And as well as that, too, you're playing one of the best power plays in the entire NHL since January 1st. I mean, a few of these, I will say, they shouldn't be called in a playoff game like this. They just look undisciplined. Doesn't help that he has yeah, I don't know. But I do want to say this is now officially the most viewed Watch With Nordic stream in the history of these streams. So thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it. It's not easy to, kind of beat a record that you've had for a while. And again, it's not really that big of a record. I've had better streams on the channel since then, but, getting one like this with over 1,200 views, closing in on 1,300 for the first time ever, it's crazy. Some crazy stuff here, folks. Thank you so much. All right. Shots are 32-23. Even if some of these calls aren't good, they just look very undisciplined. Face off here now once again in the Ottawa end. It's won by the Leafs. Marner over to Nylander. Nylander pass down low to Nyes. Nyes a backhand in front. Save from Olmark. He'll cover that one. And we now have 5:20 left here in the third. All right, face-off coming here again. And it's won by the Leafs. Marner up at the point, back to Nylander. Nylander holds it, waits, pass in front, Tavares, and Nyes kind of gets robbed there in front as he gets knocked down into the net and pinned to it by Olmark. And puck slides in on him. He'll make the save. And 5 minutes left exactly. Again, we have another stream here tonight after this one between the Wild and the Golden Knights. So be sure to tune into that one later on here in the broadcast. I appreciate everybody who has tuned in here so far through these ones, though. It's been a fun playoffs. We've done 3 of these streams. 2 of them have gone over 1,000 views already, which is just some crazy stuff. Face off. Won by the Sens. Sanderson shoots that one around. It's kept in, though, by the Leafs. Matthews takes it down low. A pass up to Tavares, and it slides all the way back out. Regrouping then is Nylander, taking his sweet time. Nylander's got Pinto alongside him. He'll try and move it down the other way. Picked back up then by Matthews. Matthews through the zone to Nyes. Nyes holds it. Waits. Back up to Tavares. Stolen back then by the Sens. Greg, shorthanded. He's got some room. He's in. He falls and falls right into Stolarz, and that didn't look pretty. They'll keep on playing, though. Nyes drops it back then for Matthews. Matthews here through center ice. Skates it around. Tries passing it up in front. Domi now down low. And it'll go all the way back down the other way with less than 30 seconds left on the power play. Morgan Riley. Down low. We'll drop it back then for Domi. Domi to Robertson. Back then for Shabbat, fighting for it as well. Picked up then, dumped up to the zone. Robertson, down low, loses control of the puck. That'll do it for the power play. And shots are 32-24 here still. Here's Gaudette. Pass up to Giroux. Up then for Jensen. 2-on-2 the other way. Stutzel gets it. He's got room. He's tripped. And that will be a penalty. And you can't just sit there and not call that one. So Ottawa will get a power play here. Make this one look a little bit closer. That's the second power play that Toronto has had. All right. Perfect. Face-off coming here now once again. It's a Sens power play, the second one of the night with 3:18 left here to go. Face-off, won by the Leafs, played around behind the net to Yarncrook, who dumps it all the way down the other way right away. I have the hiccups. This is not good. Sanderson moves it through the zone. Loses it back. Picked up back again by Stutzel. Over to Pinto. Pinto to Stu. Passes it up. Sanderson can't keep that one in. It'll go all the way down the other way once again. I think that puck had some air to it, though, to be fair. Sanderson will drop it back for Stu. Stu to Kachuk. Back to Stu. Throws it around then up to Pinto. Down low. Carlo intercepts it for Toronto. He'll hold it up against the boards as time winds down even more. Holmberg. Shorthanded the other way. Has got some room. Holmberg holds it. Takes it behind the net. Stolen back then by Sanderson. Over for Stutzel as they're halfway through the power play. Maple Leafs have 11 players tonight with a point. That is the most in one playoff game for Toronto since 2013. Claude Giroux over to Perron. Drops it back. Stutzel with it here. Down low then for Perron. Back to Stu. Over. Giroux. Holds it with control. Comes in front. Perron, and a save by Stolarz. With 30 seconds left on the power play and less than 2 minutes left in regulation here. And showing off the Minnesota Wild versus the Golden Knights. That game will start in about 25 minutes in Las Vegas. Kirill Kaprizov versus Jack Eichel. Some good stuff over there. We'll be covering that stream as well here tonight too. So be sure to tune in for that as well. Only halfway through our night of commentary. Face-off coming here now. Won by the Sens. Gregg to Shabbat. Shabbat a pass over. Intercepted by Toronto. Lawton now moves it the other way. Lawton feeds it to Lorenz. Short-handed. 20 seconds left on the power play. Ottawa will come back here and regroup. Jensen moves it through the zone. Game 2 of this will be on Tuesday. That'll be the one game we won't stream, unfortunately. Sorry about that, Leafs and Sens fans. Back to even strength. We're heading into the final minute here of this game. The Maple Leafs with their first win in Game 1 since 2023 here, I'm pretty sure. Or is it 2022? I'm not 100% sure. But these Maple Leafs fans are standing up and giving a standing ovation to their team, who played a very well-played and hard-fought game. Anthony Stolarz showed some resounding success in net. And we got another penalty here, I think, against Toronto, and some more pushing and shoving as Shabbat takes a cross-check to Domi. Or, sorry, Clevin. Give that cross-check to Domi, and some pushing and shoving and some fighting here amongst the two teams. Benoit and I think that's Mon and Paulo are going at it. Just another one of those days, am I right? And refs are holding on there to Domi. The linesman obviously can't interfere with any of it because they're not obligated to touch. There's multiple players that are just with each other, pushing and shoving. 3 Sens, 2 Leafs. That's the Battle of Ontario, baby. That's what it's all about. It's going to be very intriguing to see what Game 2 is going to be like, because that could be the dagger game. We'll have to see. And Amadio cross-checks McMahon from behind. And then Robertson hit Mon Paulo, so I'm assuming that will be a penalty, but there might be some other ones here that's called 2, because that didn't look that pretty. Travis Green discussing here with the assistant coach, whose name is escaping me. Oh my God, what's that guy's name? Trying to think who that is. 43 seconds left here. Refs are trying to just evaluate everything and see where to go from here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Just want to say that one last time before we wrap this up. Again, the most watched Watch With Nordic stream in the history that we've been doing these, by the way. That's since the start of this season. So thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it. And let's see what happens, because we got a lot of different calls here tonight. 2 minutes for high sticking. 2 minutes for roughing on Ottawa. Oh my God. Just a bunch of 2 minutes for roughing. So it looks like 4-on-4. There's no ejections, it seems like. It's just going to be a lot of different players in the box for both different teams. And they're just going to put 5-on-5. Interesting. They said they were going to do a power play for Ottawa, but then they're just like, nope, we're wiping it all off the slate. So Ottawa will not get a power play on this one, unfortunately. So 6-2 with about 43 seconds left. We'll play out the rest of these couple minutes here.
But we expected this to be physical, which is the key, and it certainly has been.
All right. Now what's happening? Can we just, like, play the rest of this out, please? That's another water bottle devoured. Amount of water I've drank is insane. I don't know how my voice hasn't been like, nope. Last night it was fine. Like, last night my voice wasn't bad at all, which I thought was very strange. Honestly, I thought that was a little weird. All right, here we go now. Face off. Won by the Sens. Jensen plays it to Perron. Taken back down low by Tanev. I thought they were going to fight for a second. I thought, like, I looked at the two of them talking. I'm like, oh, God. Up at the point, Jensen shoots it. Blocked by Zetterlund himself. Time will wind down here. 20 seconds left in Toronto for the first time since 2023. We'll take a Game 1 of a season series. And the first time in 21 years, Game 1 of the Battle of Ontario has concluded. And the Leafs will take this win tonight. We got some more pushing and shoving as the clock runs down, and that will do it. Final score 6-2 in favor of the Leafs. Some fisticuffs being thrown at the end of the game. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a fun one. It is going to be a fun series watching this one play out. That being said, that'll do it for this live stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. The most watched Watch With Nordic stream in the history of these streams. So I really do appreciate it. But regardless, that is it for me. I'll be live for Vegas versus Wild in about 5 minutes, I'd say. But that's it for me here.